Welcome back, everybody, to, well, not quite a brand new build on Spellslam. We're going back to something I feel deserves to come back at this point. Now that Pauper has been unified, all the paper cards are now available as commons online, as they should be, and vice versa. I finally have access online to Unstable Mutation. If you remember in the previous deck tech video that I made for this deck, I had started with Unstable Mutation in the deck, then realized that it wasn't even legal online, even though it's been a common in multiple sets. And same for Sunken City. I don't know if I had it in the first version, but it's definitely a card that's super interesting. I have it as a 2 of here. But let's just go over the deck really quick, and then I'm also going to go over a quick little game that I had just testing out the deck that went so well that I decided to kind of show it off, because I won because of these 2 cards that have been added, which is just awesome. So just going over the breakdown really quickly here, I made a couple little changes to the deck, because it has been a little while since I've played. 4 Ponder, 4 Preordain, helps smooth out our draws, which is kind of an uncommon thing to do in aggro decks, but there you go. We've got 10 ways to pump our creatures. We've got 4 Bone Splitters, 4 Unstable Mutations, +3/+3, and then it gives it a -1/-1 counter at the end of every turn. It'll probably kill the creature eventually, but we do have ways of bouncing it back. We've also got 2 copies of Sunken City. You don't want to see this all the time, so it feels pretty good as a 2 of. 2 blue mana. You have to pay 2 blue at each of your upkeeps, or else you have to sacrifice it, but it gives all blue creatures +1/+1. You do have to be careful because it does pump up your opponent's creatures, but generally we're going to be a little bit more aggressive than most blue decks, so this should turn out in our favor anyways, but it might be something that we take out against like Delver decks or something like that. Anyway, really good card to have in Pauper. We've got 8 1-drops. 1-drop creatures, 4 Fairy Miscreants. We had those in the previous version. If we have another copy in play, lets us draw a card. And then we have 4 Fairy Seers here. This is a new card, 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, and it also scries too, so it lets us smooth out our draws, which is, again, not something that you see very often in an aggressive list, but this allows us to do it quite well. And yeah, these guys are not very big. They're only 1/1s that fly, but they can get very big very quickly with Bone Splitters, Mutations, and Sunken City, and they also help enable some of our 2-drops. Most famous of the 2-drops is the Ninja of the Deepowers, kind of a way we can refuel constantly and keep up the pressure. You should be very afraid of a 5/5 Ninja coming your way with an Unstable Mutation. Also benefits very well from Bone Splitters and Sunken Cities, just like any other creature would, but the 5/5 Ninja hurts a lot. We've got 4 Spellstutter sprites here. Interacts very well with our 16 fairies, so we can actually counter quite a bit of cards with the Spellstutter sprite, as well as get in for lots of damage. Looter Il-Kor. Kind of a card you don't see very often in Pauper, but it's an excellent one. 2 mana, 1/1 Shadow, so basically unblockable. Can only be blocked by other creatures that have Shadow. Keep in mind it also can't block unless your opponent is also using creatures with Shadow, which doesn't happen, really. But the important thing is that whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you loot. You get to draw a card, then discard a card. So again, more draw smoothing. We've got some Bribery Cohorts. Not a card you see very often, but I guess as a 2/2 flyer for 2, this is pretty good. You're generally going to have another blue creature in play. Even if you don't, he's attacking for 1. And again, holds equipment and pump very well. And to top it all off, not very much interaction aside from the Spellstutter sprites. We've got 2 copies of Curfew. It helps buy back something that's about to die to the Unstable Mutation. It can help kind of save you in bad combat, or if you don't have any creatures in play, you can just bounce something of your opponents for free. Very good against hexproof creatures that you can't target. This does not target, so it works out pretty well in our deck, and we can also buy back Spellstutter sprites and whatnot. Over on the sideboard, lots of changes. Got 3 copies of Annul, 3 copies of Dispel, 2 copies of Spreading Seas, 2 copies of Counterspell, 2 more copies of Curfew, and 3 relics. Just all-around protection for all sorts of stuff. As you can see, I'm a little bit worried about some aggressive decks, so I think Curfew and Annul can help shore up matches like that, like Hexproof or like Mono Green Stompy. Curfew is going to be pretty good. Yeah, so that's about it. And then Relic plus Spreading Seas will be good against the Tron lists, which are still very, very popular. Anyway, so I'm hoping to see this in action a little bit more. I'm really excited to play this. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you soon. Alright, off to the first game here. Let's take a look. We keep a hand with both the new cards here, Unstable and Sunken City. We preordain, leave an island on top. And I guess our opponent is not very happy that Sinkhole is not legal in Pauper, and they decided to run their deck anyway. So we're up against Land Destruction here, Mono Black. We go ahead and play our Looter, but we did get a Ninja the Deep Hour, so that's probably what's going to be happening next turn. It would be better to draw a card straight out and deal an extra damage than loot for 1. So, yeah, there we are. 2-2 here. I'm afraid of removal, but at the same time, if he's just gonna, destroy our lands, we might as well just keep attacking and drawing cards. We get a Fairy Seer, fix up our draws. Unfortunately, I treat Fairy Seer a little bit like a draw spell, and I meant to put a bounce, yeah, the Curfew on top. But instead I put a land that I drew with Ninja. So Curfew in our deck. We beef up the Ninja. They decide to go for this. So here, what I do is I play the Fairy, then the Curfew, bring back the Fairy, and then attack with the Ninja. I steal the Monarchy. They're going to get it back next turn, but that's probably their only play, and I get to draw 2 cards out of the process. And we get 2 more non-land cards. We're not really looking for any more land destruction. They decided to give up on their Peat Bog, and they lay down an Angler. So at this point, we really got to close out this game. I'm looking for some extra lands or something, but double Fairy means that Sunken City is going to look pretty darn sweet. So here, discard Ponder, discard second Sunken City to both their Vicious Rumors. Not a very good card in my opinion. Goes back down to a 2-2. I play my Sunken City, and hesitate for a while, but I end up playing that Bone Splitter, and then get in for 4. Leaving back the Ninja to block the Thorn. The Ninja's back up to a 2-2 thanks to the Sunken City, and I draw a card because I take the Monarchy. I block the 3/3 Death Toucher. They're down to 3 life. They need to find an answer really quick, and they don't. So we are off to game 2. I don't have so much of a sideboard. As you could, maybe you could tell, at the start of the game I had 61 cards in my deck. I accidentally put a Spreading Seas into my main deck. It's supposed to be in the sideboard, and the sideboard itself consists of 4 Aura Flux, 3 Dispel, 2 Counterspell, and 1 Spreading Seas. So incomplete sideboard, plus 1 of the cards accidentally found its way into the main deck. So I think I end up putting in a couple Counterspells, and that's about it into the deck. So we'll see you in game 2. Alright. In the second game, we keep a pretty similar hand. Looter, Ninja. We've got a Briarberry, another Curfew, Unstable. Pretty average hand, honestly. We get to draw land, which is nice. Our opponent is going to sign in Blood. We're obviously going to go with our Briarberry, I believe. Yep, there we go. I would prefer to lose the Briarberry to a removal spell as opposed to a Looter. We get a second Looter. I attack and go for the Ninja. Again, it's very probable that they're going to kill it, but I will have at least got a very good trade out of it at that point. Opponent, gonna go for some more land destruction, I think. Yep, there we go. And they also have the brand new Defile. -1/-1 for each swamp they control, which is 4 or 3 at the time. I play my my Looter. They kill it. That lets me Curfew their Angler, which they can't replay. And then I can play my Looter. I get in here, decide to play the Briarberry. Loot away a draw spell. I've got a nice 4/4 Looter. They're here it comes. Wow. Okay, so that was a big turn for them, right? They went removal, Dark Ritual. Oh no, so they went Dark Ritual, Land Destruction, or did they? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they went Land Destruction, plus Dark Ritual, plus removal, or something along those lines. So they played a lot of stuff to be able to replay this Angler, which now I'm looking really, really bad. Things are looking really, really bad for me. Only a Preordain and a Bone Splitter in hand with only 2 lands. But they're also out of gas. So I Preordain, I drew a Spellstutter Sprite. I decided to keep the Fairy Miscreant to play it. hopefully I can close out the game in a couple turns with the Bone Splitter. But they have a Chainer's Edict. They're one land away. I draw an Unstable Mutation and just pass with nothing up. End of turn, Spell Stutter. I draw another Unstable Mutation, play them both. If they draw a land, they kill me. If not, I kill them. So, they drew a card, didn't have it, and we took it down with our 7/7 Spell Stutter Sprite. Wow, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will see you next time.